1000万 MLB 翻訳侍戦士チャンネルへようこそ。大谷翔平選手の重要な場面での一打、そしてメッツの粘り強い戦いぶりが印象的でした。この試合を見て野球の素晴らしさを再確認できました。ぜひ最後までお楽しみください。チャンネル登録もよろしくお願いします。
Taken 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers so far this season. A lot to get to in this game. We'll get back out to the West Coast right now, get a look at our notes, and that's how we'll get it going. The Mets wasted no time jumping in front of the Dodgers. 2 pitches into the game. That's Francisco Lindor, and that is not coming back. His 6th leadoff home run of the season, 417 feet. The Mets had a very quick 1-0 lead. They then extended the lead in the 5th inning. Brandon Nimmo drills one to the gap out there in right center. It bounces over the wall, a ground rule double. It scores Jeff McNeil, and the Mets had the lead. It was 2-0 at that point. It was still 2-0 in the 7th inning. Shohei Ohtani, and man, he drills this one 424 feet, 114 miles per hour off the bat, and it got the Dodgers back within 2-1. Los Angeles then had first and third, 1 out, bottom of the 9th inning. Ohtani goes the opposite way. Nimmo just in front of the wall makes the catch. Sac fly. Tommy Edman scores, and the game was tied at 2. The Mets then got 2 in the 10th inning. Francisco Alvarez goes the opposite way. His first RBI since back on May the 4th. Scores Acuna to put the Mets back in front. Lindor then made it a 4-2 game with an RBI single, and they needed that because the Dodgers cut it to 4-3. In the bottom of the 10th inning, the tying run down at third, but Jose Butto getting Edman to ground right back to him, and the Mets survive. They get the win in the opening game of this series. 4-3 is the final. So as I said at the outset, the Mets, they did bend there, but they didn't break it again. That's 3 out of 4 for the Mets over the Dodgers this season. I think this was a great start to this road trip.
It was, and it was a resilient game for this Mets, this Mets team, sorry. And one of the things that we talked about in pregame was the way the Mets have tried to close the gap on the Dodgers, and we mentioned starting pitching, which was very good. Blackburn was outstanding today, and bullpen. And I had said, hey, with the ability for Edwin Diaz to close out the games, I think it leads to another advantage. Today, Edwin not able to do it the first time this season that he has not, been able to convert on a save opportunity. But you saw some other quality pitching, some clutch hitting in those extra innings, and you got to give it up for a guy like Jose Butto, who comes in a tough situation after Castillo got a grand out to get the strikeout, and then they relinquish it to Butto when they made the pitch hit change and bring Will Smith, one of the best hitters in all of baseball, with men in scoring position. Got the fly out there, and then the big ground out for Edman to end this outing. And Mets resilient. This is a team that is finding ways to win games, tough fought games, even in places that are not very friendly, like Dodger Stadium. When you've got that team and all the offense that they can provide, Mets were able to hold them down and get the victory again tonight.
We spoke on our pregame show how the Mets have closed the gap a little bit here on the Dodgers from a season ago, and one of the things we've spoken about was the Mets pitching, right? Not just their starting pitching, but the bullpen has been terrific as well. And Jose Butto, here's a guy, Todd, who's had trouble with when he comes into an inning in a difficult situation. The ERA is up around 6. When he comes in clean inning, it's about 2, and he came in with a lot of trouble there. How did he get through it?
Well, I think part of it with him, when he's come in at times with men on, he struggles with his command. And then early on today, he started pumping strikes right away, and that's a key for him. He's got a good fastball. He's got a very good slider, and that was a nice glove right there, too. That might have been fielded at second base, but you know what? You don't want to take that chance. And you can see that he was fired up his first save of the season for the Mets team. And look, they had to go to all of their resources. They had to bring Castillo in when they couldn't get Edwin to hold it down. Reed Garrett not available tonight, who's been excellent in those kinds of situations. Ryan Stanek had a little bit of traffic, but figured out a way to get out of it himself. And you got to really give it up to Blackburn, who started this all and handed off the baton with 5 scoreless.
A lot of people contributed to this, and as we mentioned a moment ago in the notes, here's a guy in Francisco Alvarez who has really struggled up there at the plate, but he comes up big there in the 10th inning. He puts the Mets in front with that RBI double into right field. A couple of minutes ago, he had a chance to visit with Steve Gelbs.
During the training room, he's getting looked at by our trainers. He's the hamstring, obviously. Didn't look good. So, again, like I said, he's going through all the testing, and we got to wait and see.
What impressed you the most about Blackburn tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he was really good. I thought attacked the zone, used all of his pitches. I thought the cutter was good, the sinker was good against righties, the changeup kept those guys off balance, guessing. He was pitch efficient, to be honest with you. Obviously, we didn't make a play that extended that inning in the 5th inning, but overall, against a pretty good lineup, obviously, for him to be out there for the first time after so much time that he missed, unbelievable job there.
How big was that for Alvarez to get a hard hit there to the opposite field?
Yeah, I feel like he's been taking a lot better swings as of late. The past few games, I feel like he's getting on time. He's got some rhythm. He's recognizing pitches a lot better. So I think he's making progress, and it was good to see him obviously coming through right there against a pretty good pitcher on Scott. We run it at second base, not only going the other way, but driving the ball with authority.
What were those last couple of innings like for you? It seemed to have the game pretty secure, and then they came back on.
Well, I don't know about securing against a lineup like that. You never feel, like until you get that last out, that's a pretty good lineup, pretty good team, and they're, whether it's kind of like the same way we feel with our offense. Guy gets on, and before you know it, the time run is at home play, and you feel good about your chances. They got to be feeling the same way, and that's why you got to play all 27, and got to keep competing. And then we went to extras today, and I'm glad we were able to cross those two to home plate. So.
Is there a specific approach your pitchers have been taking the last 3 games, and then you allowed the 6 runs to the Dodgers?
Not really. I mean, just sticking to our strength. Obviously, they're good hitters. We're playing. You're making some good defensive plays. We're just executing, But again, they're good. But we also, got some guys that, are attacking the zone, are limiting damage. So I feel good with where we're at.
What made Dustin May so tough?
Yeah. Obviously, he's got the sinker. The sweeper was good, especially backdoors to lefties, I don't think he threw that cutter that he's been, I thought he threw a few of them his last outing, but today it was more, a couple of 4 seams at the top, but I think the sweeper was his pitch today.
Carlos, if Vientos does miss time, is Mauricio someone you could consider, or is it physically not there yet?
Well, I got to talk to David here, I just got back from the training room, and we'll have those conversations.
With Blackburn, I know it is just immediately after the game, but what's the plan now for him moving forward?
Yeah, so we got to wait and see, but there's a good chance he'll go back to the bullpen for now, and then we'll go from there.
What do you think about what you've been seeing from Lindor at these last few games?
Yeah, driving the ball to outfield, especially going the other way. When he's doing that, I think I said it a couple of days ago, every time he goes the other way with authority is a good sign, and we saw it again today. They try to come in, and he's able to pull the ball to lead off the game. He's a good hitter, man.
Why did you like Budo in that spot at the end?
How do I like it?
So why did you like it?
Well, I just want, once they have the righties ready, I thought I was going to go. That's why he was getting loose, because after the 3 batters there for Castillo, I was going to have a righty ready for a potential pinch hit, which they did.
Would you not use Diaz for 2 innings? You're guarding against any?
No, he was 3 out of 4 today, so no.
Castillo was a choice because of the lefty.
Yeah, and we're down to Castillo and Budo there. Gary was unavailable today, so I just thought getting 2 out of 3 batters, 3 lefties. I mean, two out of 3 lefties, and then had the righty ready in case they pinch hit, and I'm glad they came through.
Did you believe that Dave was not going to pinch hit for Conforto there? It took him a second.
Well, when you look at the numbers, Conforto against lefty this year, he's been actually better, So I wasn't surprised, but then he decided, and that's why I have Budo there. But I wasn't surprised at all.
Before that Ohtani at bat, you came out and had a pretty extensive meeting with everybody, not just Diaz. What were you trying to get across there?
I was just trying to go through pretty much every scenario, where the infielders, where we want to throw through, what we were going to do with the ball if it was hit in the infield with a plus runner at the plate. Obviously, telling Diaz, the base was still open, but you like your chances with Diaz there. So there was a lot of scenarios there that I was going through, and that's what I meant the mound visit.
Did you not play double play depth just because he's so fast?
Yeah, no, and I got my closer there. I'm going for the win. So and it's tough, when you got Ohtani who gets down the line, it's not gonna be easy to turn a double play. So I was just trying to cut that runner going from third base.
No team has a better record over the last calendar year than you guys. Years on, seasons change from year to year. What has this team been able to carry over from 2024 to 2025?
The fight, resilience, the grit, they're grinding, it's a group that continues to fight, we went through a lot of adversity, and every team's going to go through adversity, and I feel like, we're playing well now, but we got a long ways to go, but I feel like this group is been tested before, and I just feel like not only we got really good players, but they push each other, they prepare, and they're not afraid to hold each other accountable.
How big of a series is your team looking at this one here with 4 games here?
Yeah, look, I mean, we know they're good, but it's still June, We come here with a mentality to win a series, It's not like we're looking at the calendar and looking at this specific series, we're playing the team is in front of us. We're here, and like I said, our job is to try and win a series here.
How about Lindor setting the tone there, 6th leadoff home run of the year?
Yeah, pretty impressive. Really good player, swinging the bat the way he's doing it now. And when he goes, pretty much everyone goes. Then really good at batting extras there from the right side on that double to add on. I thought, that play up the middle, the diving play, keeping the ball in the infield before the Ohtani at bat, that was huge there too. So, again, great player, and, I'm glad he's on our team.
Thank you, Carlos.
All right, so that is the manager of the Mets, Carlos Mendoza. Let's follow on what he had to say right there in that 9th inning, right? The Dodgers do tie the game, but the Mets in many ways were fortunate to get out of that and get to extra innings. But he spoke about that play by Lindor that he kept on the infield. Now, the run ended up scoring, but Edwin Diaz, despite the fact that he got into trouble, he got a huge strikeout there on Teoscar Hernandez to get the Mets to the 10th inning. So what was it about that inning that you liked, the fact that they were able to survive and get to extras?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That Edwin Diaz, blew a save right there. But Edwin Diaz did not pitch poorly in that inning. Edmonds got the base hit against him to start things off. And look, he does a good job of limiting damage. A couple of base hits, the stolen base is something that, he just is very vulnerable for. And then this ball up the middle right here, Lindor makes a fantastic play, and you can't get the runner going down the line, then the sac fly, which that's a pitch right there that he probably wishes he had back. It's in the low part of the strike zone, which he probably wanted to try to elevate against Shohei. But look, when he's in those situations, he finds the ways to come through. And then he continued to battle to get Teoscar, like you're saying, so that they could live to fight another day and come back in that 10th inning and find a way to win this game. So Edwin's stuff looked good. He was pumping 99 to 100 miles an hour. The slider looked sharp. They just did a very good job against him, much the way the Mets did a good job against Tanner Scott.
Yeah, and by the way, that Ohtani, he's a strong man, because that fly ball to left field, when it left the bat, we looked at each other and we're like, that might be gone.
Dodger Stadium, that gets pretty close right down that line, so it's close.
All right, so we've got more to come here. Infinity Postgame Live. More reaction from out at Dodger Stadium as the Mets get the win, opening game of this 4-game series. Paul Blackburn, first game back on the mound since August of last season.
Well, what do you think just as a teammate when you see Blackburn go through what he's gone through the last 9 months and then come through in that way tonight?
It was amazing. I was super happy. I was happy for him. He's been going through a lot of things, and he's been grinding just as much as anybody. Just because he hasn't played, doesn't mean he's not been working hard. And to see him come out today, attack, and execute his game plan, it was huge. It was huge not only for him, but for the team as well. And I'm proud, I'm happy, and I'm glad it went the way it went tonight.
I know you, in general, talk about having the same approach at all times, but any theory as to why you've had so much success, especially with the leadoff home run?
No. Just trying to get a good pitch and get on base for the guys. And when they go out, great. When they don't, as long as I'm on base and get something going for the guys, and then let the big boys do their thing. It's just take a lot of pride in setting the tone, and at the end of the day, the coaches that prepare me, they tell me all the information. I just go out there and try to execute the game plan.
What kind of exciting moment is it for you when you give your team a lead right off the bat like that?
It feels good. It feels good because you start the game 1-0, but at the end of the day, we understand that we have to play 27 outs. It's a really hard, really good team on the other side, tough team, and they're going to play 27 outs as well. So just feels good to set the tone, but at the end of the day, you got to give everything you got.
It looked like many balls kind of died at the wall today. I think you had one that I thought might be going out. You and Otani were the two that kind of. You must have gotten all of that ball to get it out here today.
I hit it with everything I had, and it worked out. It went. Not as far as Otani. Otani was probably 40 feet further than mine, but they count the same. So it was good that I was able to get a good pitch and drive it.
Alvarez has been struggling a little bit going in the last couple of weeks. What have you seen from his at-bats today, and do you think he's turning up?
That was huge, you know. I'm glad you brought him up. He's been definitely working extremely hard. He's been grinding. He's been going through it, as I like to say. And for him to step up, for him to stick to his work, for him to stick to what he's trying to change day in and day out, and not let the offense affect the defense, is very important. The way he went about it today was tremendous. His at-bats were quality at-bats, and behind the play was really good. And then Torrance coming in at the end of the game to close it. I'm glad they're on my team, and the way he has gone about it has been really good.
Francesco, you mentioned the changes that he's attempting to make. Just how difficult can that be to not chase results and get out of what you believe will be a long-term, better strategy when it's not working in the near term?
It is very difficult because regardless of how process-driven this game should be, we all want results. We all want to be successful, and he's young. He needs to continue to develop. He needs to continue to mature. And for him to stick to his work day in and day out and not change it, the test is going to be tomorrow. Coming in tomorrow and doing the exact same thing he did today so I can go out and have a good game again tomorrow. It's the way he's done it. He's a real professional. I'm happy for him. And I'm sure he's going to continue to have success.
You've taken off since being moved to leadoff. What is it about leadoff? I guess you get a couple more fastballs, but other than that, there really isn't much.
I don't know. Sometimes you close your eyes and you swing.
What was it like just being a part of those last two innings there? Obviously, they tie it up, you storm ahead by 2, and then just to hold on there in the bottom of the 10th.
Yeah, I would say tonight was a great team win. Everybody had to contribute, literally. You have the bullpen coming in and pitching great. You have the starting pitcher had a great game. Defense, overall we did a good job, and base running as well. Acuna had a great read late in the game. Just continuing to pass it with him. Nemo had a great at bats, and Soto. It was a great team win. Everybody felt like everyone contributed today, and I'm glad we ended up on top.
What do you think about having the infield in with Otani up? I would have been a little nervous. How are you?
I'm not playing first base, so I'm good.
Okay.
The first baseman, Pete's probably the one that is in danger.
延長戦までもつれ込んだ激戦、いかがでしたでしょうか。両チームの選手たちの必死なプレーには心を打たれました。この動画が面白かったと思った方はチャンネル登録、高評価お願いいたします。ご視聴ありがとうございました。